Welcome back to another edition of Got Gameplay. I can hear myself now. Technical issues. We're restarting this one. This is our weekly video series where we look at a game that has just come out and we talk about it. And I'm joined by Patrick Luciani.
Yeah.
Intern Steve.
Yo.
And Christine Chubb is here as well.
Hello.
There's also another microphone. One of you guys can grab that microphone if you want.
I could talk like this.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, actually.
Intern Steve and Patrick Luciani are like side by side.
We're holding hands.
Best friends right now.
Yeah, it's getting very warm in here.
We should really videotape us doing these ones because we are radio people. If you're watching this, we don't know video. I do this on what's it called? Windows Movie Maker. That's what the software we use to
radio
produce
never
this.
looks good on video.
But we are actually talking about a visual medium right now, video games, as it were, which is why we're looking at DriveClub, a game that's had an interesting launch. It was supposed to come out with the PlayStation 4. It was supposed to be a big first-party launch title. And to be honest, considering the launch titles for the PlayStation 4, launch titles are never really that great, but man, that's the one that could use a few more good games. It's doing better now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think that DriveClub is going to be one of those better games. At least right now, I can't find myself to say a lot of great things about it because it's having a lot of technical issues. At this point, the people who have made the game have gone to like a one-in, one-out service model for their multiplayer. So I haven't gotten to play multiplayer on this game yet. I've had it for a while now.
Sounds very lackluster if it's only one, right?
It looks gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
It looks very pretty. Lackluster, though, perhaps that's not the best term, but it's the closest term. This game is actually very stripped down for what you think it's going to be.
Really?
When I actually heard about this game, when we first learned about it, there was that dude at the PlayStation 4 reveal event, and he came on stage and he started talking about cars very lovingly. This dude clearly was into vehicles. So you would think that this would be something close to a Forza or a Gran Turismo or maybe even NASCAR the game, something where you're definitely tuning your cars, setting them up, stuff like that. That's not this game. This game is...
Tuning involved at all?
No. This game is what you see is what you get. Basically, you get into some races and you earn some cars, but you can't change those cars. Though all you can do is really change either if you want the car to be manual or automatic.
Really?
And you can also pick a color scheme. I haven't even figured out yet if I can make my own color schemes, just alter other people's ones at this point. I'm not saying that you can't create your own color schemes, but I've only been able to alter color schemes at this point, or color schemes at this point. And they give you a whole bunch of events, but that's kind of the game.
Just looking at this, it doesn't look like there's a lot of damage modeling involved with the cars.
No, and I wonder if that's they couldn't do it or they just succumbed to, say, the wishes of the people who make the cars. Because if you ever listen to someone who's made a racing game before, they go and they talk to Audi and Ford and Chrysler and they say, hey, can I have your models of your car?
Mm-hmm.
And to actually give this game a little bit of props for a second, these are actually the models. What you see are the models that the people who made the cars actually gave. They gave all their modeling data of, Audi, here's all our modeling data for this vehicle.
Yeah.
And Ford, here's all the modeling data we have for this Ford Escort. And they gave that to the people who made this game. So what you're seeing was modeled by the people who actually made the car. So that's why the cars look so great, because they're actually they are the car in real life in a sense. They are the blueprints for the car in real life.
They do look very nice. My biggest draw to a racing game, though, is the fact that I can actually mod out a car in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that this game is lacking that completely is a big turn on.
Yeah, you can do that a lot. I mean, I reviewed Forza Horizon 2 last week, and there's a lot of things that you can do. You can basically mod out a Pinto to make it go to the highest rank. You can really go crazy with some of these cars.
Yeah. That's not happening in this game.
Oh, there is
That's
damage
a fun
model.
view.
There you go.
There is a little bit of damage. I will say that. There's not a huge amount of damage. I never felt myself. And to be honest, when you start playing a new racing game, you're learning the controls.
Yeah.
And you learn the controls of every car. In a second, we're going to flip over to another session where I actually, towards the end, I was doing well, but starting off, I was kind of just hitting walls.
Yeah.
And
You wrecked your car.
I did some damage. I bent some panels.
Yeah.
I scraped some paint. I earned myself a Lotus.
There you go.
But I didn't wreck the front of a car. Whereas I probably should have, given how hard I hit the wall sometimes.
Yeah.
So how many cars are there in this game?
I didn't really count. but there are enough. I think they're like 50 or something like that. The weird thing is that you earn some of these cars by playing the game yourself. Like I'm a level 10 dude, so I've earned a number of cars. And then
Look at them all. Look at all those cars. Oh wait, those are all unlocked still.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that there are some cars here that are unlocked by doing social events.
Right.
So since I haven't been able to get online,
Yeah,
I don't have access to any of those cars.
that's kind of a ripoff.
There are cars I would get just by joining a group, but I can't join any DriveClub
Yeah.
because I can't get online.
Well, I mean, hopefully once the servers are fixed, that issue gets resolved
So this
pretty
is the
quickly.
model.
So this is basically the model of a car who I forget exactly which car this is, which I know for me is bad, but I'm sorry guys, I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of every $1,800,000.
C8.
Worst,
There we
get
go.
out.
Hmm?
This menu here is pretty fancy and decorative looking.
Yeah, these are all the events, and I pulled back for a second. There are 3 parts of this game. There are the tour, where basically it's the campaign. It's not much of a campaign. You're just earning stars to progress. Like every part of this game feels very bare bones. And so if you're expecting a big campaign like you would in Forza Horizon 2, people talking at you, that's not in this game.
Yeah.
You're basically just earning stars to progress. It's basically Mario Kart. And then
With really fancy cars.
there is sort of like a
Are
race
there
now.
dudes mean mugging you?
No, not in this game. You expect that, but no. This is basically all the gameplay stuff you can change around and all the settings and stuff like that. It's very bare bones across the board. And there are only 3 sort of driving modes. There is the tour, like I said, earn stars. There's basically race now. You can pick whatever race you want. As I'm trying to go through the menus and basically just show you what's in this game and what you can do. You can customize a character, which I found to be the weirdest thing because I have yet to find a use for a character.
When you're looking behind the car, I guess you kind of see him in the driver's seat, but you wouldn't really see him that well.
And to be honest, you're racing, so you're not paying attention to the guy in the car.
Would it be an avatar that you use online?
I haven't been able to get online,
Yeah, that's
so
the
I
thing,
can't
right?
answer that question. That's
That's messy hair. You should have picked that one.
it's a possibility. I do not know. That one guy looks like Grant Imahara from Mythbusters.
Yeah, it did.
It kind of did. And you can choose all these avatars and choose male or female, whatever. I don't know.
They look like they're all mean mugging.
Okay.
Well, you got to be serious when you're a driver, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure. I guess that's a qualification.
So are there drivatars in this game? Like, is it a complete open world racing game?
No. It's very track based.
Okay.
Even though they talked about, hey, Canada's going to be in here and Scotland and all sorts of other places. In fact,
there's
Chile,
Canada.
India, it lists all the places. You're basically just going on a track. It just creates a track for you, and you're racing on that track. And you're just racing at this point, because I can't get online, AIs that, I will be honest, are not the best AIs I've raced against in a racing game. So I've decided at this point finally to start doing some laps. I've picked a track somewhere in BC. Never actually been to BC, so I don't really know any of these locations.
Beautiful.
And
Pretty sure that
Maybe
was
that's where you should go on your vacation, Calhoun.
yes, if I ever take a vacation,
Oh,
sure.
look, there's your avatar getting in.
Yeah,
You don't
that
see his
happens at the
face.
beginning of every time. You basically
Okay. Oh, there's your face. Now it's gone.
you basically climb in, and I find that that's kind of a weird time to do it because you climb in and then the game loads and then you're racing. I found it to be just a little jarring.
Is the climb in part of the loading screen though?
No, you
No?
climb in and then you load.
Oh.
And it's kind of cool to climb into behind a vehicle. Like that's kind of a cool little thing that they've done. But to do that and then okay, now you're waiting for the game to load, kind of destroys the entire
Like it would have made sense.
application of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made sense if that was the loading screen. You getting in the car.
Yeah. Or if they loaded into the game and then you got into the car and then it's like, okay, jump cut to you taking off as I try and learn how to drive this Spiker, I believe is how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do
is,
not
yeah.
have an encyclopedic knowledge of every car out there,
Oh,
but
well.
I do know a bunch of them pretty good.
Do the cars all feel different? Like you notice like clear differences between like each individual car?
No, not between each different car. There is a clear difference between, obviously, power class, as the higher regarded cars have more power. So you have to brake quicker. You have to turn harder.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really trying. I'll get the hang of this. Trust me, I'll get the hang of this.
Well, there's the
towards end of
damage
video.
models we were talking about.
Yeah, but nothing gets torn off. And I
Yeah.
figured we're kind of at the point where,
That something should have torn off there.
Yeah.
Like a wheel, maybe.
or my
Your
entire
side window.
undercarriage
Yeah.
could have just gone flying off into the crowd at that speed. I should have been like at least dealing with some bruised bones or something at this
Mhm.
point. But that's not this game. This game, I feel like at this point, Sony said, okay, mistakes have been made. I'm not saying mistakes in development. I don't know what this game was like throughout development. How could I? I did not work at the studio. And Sony's not going to tell me. So we're basically looking at the game after release and just saying, okay, well, this possibly could have happened. And whatever the mistake was, mistakes were made. And I feel like the game that we're playing right now is just a game that at some point someone said, that's it,
Yeah.
put it out.
It has to come out now.
Yeah,
It feels very bare bones.
it's
In
very bare
terms of-
bones.
yeah.
Especially compared to Horizon. Like Horizon was so rich to not even like just even to look at. Whereas
Is there like a driver line to kind of help you learn how to drive the car properly?
No, I didn't go looking for one. I probably should have, but I don't normally use driver lines from games. I normally just pick my own lines that I think will work. And as with all tracks, I mean, the more I drive around here, the better I'll learn the track and the better I'll be prepared for the corners. And as I go through the laps, I will definitely get better. But I didn't see one. And perhaps there is one in this game. I didn't think to go looking for it. I'll do that for the review.
Nailed that corner.
oh,
Nailed it.
I will say, though, that there are not many options in this game. There's not much here. We already talked about how you can't set up the car. And you would think that would be a huge part of this game.
Yeah.
of course, because it's a
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
game. Yeah.
And it kind of like,
Especially in a market where any other driving game gives you, a plethora of customizability.
yeah. To me, this game feels like the only thing that would put it apart from every other game is how deep those social features may go. But I can't test that until I can get it online. So at this
Yeah.
point, it's just a very generic racing game.
And what's the point of social features if you can't get attached to a car you own because you can't like soup it up or anything like that?
Yeah, and I mean, you're supposed to be able to join clubs and play all sorts of races, and instantly, as soon as you're done, send challenges of, hey, basically beat what I just did
Yeah.
to everybody or specific people who haven't even gotten the game yet. And without the ability to get online, I can't test any of that stuff out, so I don't know how it is.
One thing is like what's this score here? Is that like kudos?
So at the very top of the center screen is basically a score that you get for every race, and you just earn points. I will give this game credit for like taking away points when you do something bad, which is something that games don't normally do. So I guess that's kind of a cool penalty system, except for they don't really take away enough points, I feel like, to make it a deterrent for bad driving. And as you get more points, you can rank yourself up in terms of, what level you are, and then you get a new car for every rank you go through. And then there's a bunch locked away that are given to you based on how your club is doing. And those I haven't been able to access. And some of your efforts here go towards clubs, but none of my efforts have gone to a club because I can't join one right now. And I feel like maybe I am hitting that same note over and over and over again, but that's supposed to be, apparently at this point, the focus of the game. It's called DriveClub. My favorite joke is someone called this Drive Alone. And yeah, I mean, that's the game, guys. You've seen the game. What do you think?
I'd rather go back and play Forza Horizon 2 for a little bit.
It looks good,
Yeah.
but the complete lack of anything in it turns me off completely from it.
Well, I'll give this game another week and we'll do our full
Yeah.
review on an upcoming episode of Got Game.
And hopefully the server issues get resolved by then.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You can find us on our radio show, just as I said before, Google Got Game, Sportsnet, stuff like that. You'll find us. But this has been another edition of Got Game. I think next week I'll be doing Skylanders.